Hello and welcome to my video series on human resource management. These video series are going to help the MBA, PGDM, and BBA students to master their human resource management subject. So as I have discussed earlier in my other video series on human resource management about what human resource management is and what are its various functions and importance, we moved ahead with human resource planning as the first important function of human resource management. And we discussed in my video about how human resource planning helps in giving future directions for recruitment and selection process at the organizations. So human resource planning helps in identifying the needs of manpower or the manpower requirements of the organization for future, and how this planning of human resources can lead to better productivity, reduction of cost, and maximum utilization of resources. When we have to recruit employees for a vacant position, we need to analyze the job and see that what are the roles and responsibilities for which we are inviting applications for the role of a certain job position in the organization. So this is all about job analysis. So what we do in job analysis, which is another function of human resource management, is to analyze the job position. So as we have already discussed in my other video on human resource planning about how we can plan for human resources and identify what all positions are going vacant and what all positions can be filled internally through transfers, promotions, or internal mobility, uh, or certain positions which are going vacant can be filled by external recruitment and hiring processes. But before we go ahead with the recruitment and selection of candidates for a position, we need to understand and analyze the job position. We need to understand and find what an employee would be doing in this job position. For example, there's a job position of a marketing manager. So what will be the roles and responsibilities of the marketing manager, and what are the skills required to perform the job of a marketing manager, that we are going to discuss in this video on job analysis with all of you. So I begin with the job analysis definition. So job analysis can be defined as a systematic process of determining skills, duties, and knowledge required for performing jobs in organization. So basically, it is a process carried out by human resource managers, by the human resource department, to find out what are the particular skills or duties or knowledge which is required to perform a certain job in an organization. So before we understand the process of job analysis, let us understand what are jobs and what are positions. So what is a job? A job consists of a group of tasks that must be performed for organizations to achieve its goals. So basically the task, for example, I was talking about marketing manager's position in an organization. So the job is for the marketing manager's position. So what are the tasks that a marketing manager would perform? To meet the clients or customers, to negotiate the price, to understand the product features, to promote the product, to position the product in the right manner, and to go ahead with the advertising process of the process, and so on and so forth, are going to be the tasks that are to be carried out by the marketing manager. And this is called the job of the marketing manager. Similarly, what is the position? So collection of tasks and responsibilities performed by one person is called a position. So there is one position for one person. There is one position per individual in an organization. So for every position, we need to hire one person. So if we perform job analysis, what we are going to achieve or accomplish, or what the organization is going to achieve, and why it is important, we need to understand that. Why the organizations need to invest in good job analysis. So what physical and mental task does a worker accomplish in a job is important to administer. For example, job of a surgeon in a hospital carries out a lot of mental stress, odd working hours. So there's a lot of physical strain as well as mental strain established with a surgeon in a hospital. So the job analysis, when we are doing job analysis, we need to write down the job description that will be the duties and responsibilities carried out by the surgeon. When is job to be completed? So we need to understand, is this job monthly basis, hourly basis, yearly basis? So that also needs to be analyzed in a job. Where the job has to be established, whether this job has to be performed within the office premises or traveling is involved in this job. So that also has to be determined by the job analyst. How does the worker perform the job? Whether the worker will be using machines to perform the job, whether there will be a team of people working along with him or her to perform the job, or a vehicle or a conveyance is used to perform a job. For example, the job of a marketing manager, as I said, the work has to be done along with the team, and a conveyance may also be required to perform the job. And it is not an office job. It's a field job where the marketing manager has to be on the field with the clients. Why is this job done? What is to be achieved through this job has to be determined through job analysis. What qualifications are needed to perform this job? For example, to perform the job of a marketing manager, it is mandatory for the candidate to possess a degree in management, a postgraduate degree in management. It could be PGDM, it could be MBA. And a postgraduate degree is a must to perform the job of a marketing manager more effectively and efficiently. So these are some of the questions we will ask in order to plan for job analysis process in the organization. Now, job analysis is a basic human resource management tool, as we all know. And it comprises of two major parts, job description and job specification. I will tell you in detail about job description and job specification in my further slides. But with this diagram, you need to understand that job analysis can be divided into two major parts, job description and job specification. Job description comprises of tasks, responsibilities, and duties that a worker will be performing during his or her tenure at the organization. So what are the tasks? We have already discussed. Tasks are small tasks make up the job of a person. For example, the task to be performed by a marketing manager would be telecalling and going to the field, talking to the customers, convincing them, selling the product. The responsibilities that the marketing manager would be carrying with him or her would be, he or she is responsible to meet the targets, complete the targets, motivate the workforce under him. And the duties that he or she has to perform would be to make a sales report, a quarterly sales report, to undergo training programs, to fulfill all the policies and procedures as prescribed by the organization, by the marketing manager. So these would be the tasks, responsibilities, and duties of a marketing manager in brief. Another aspect of job analysis, which is very important, is job specification. That is, what are the KSAs required to perform a job, or what are the KSAs required? KSA means knowledge, skills, and abilities which are to be there present in the candidate who is applying for a job in your organization. So what is the knowledge? For example, in order to perform the job of a marketing manager, the knowledge that the marketing manager should possess about the product that he or she is going to sell in the market. Skills is negotiation skills, communication skills, soft skills, Excel skills, computer skills, which are needed to perform this job. And abilities is to perform better than others, better than the competitors. So in order to, hire a person with better knowledge, skills, and abilities, we seek applications from candidates who have higher degrees in MBA or PGDM with specialization in, marketing management for a marketing manager's position. So job analysis, again, to put you in a gist, is job analysis comprised of job description, job specification, job description, comprise of task, responsibilities, and duties, while job specification comprise of knowledge, skills, and abilities. And all these help in staffing, training and development, performance appraisal, compensation, safety and health, employee and labor relations, and legal considerations. These are all the functions of human resource management for which job analysis is done. So moving ahead, why job analysis is important for the organizations, why organizations should invest in job analysis before going ahead with recruitment and selection. The first and foremost is staffing process. Haphazard, the staffing process would be there if recruiter does not know qualifications needed for that job. So if there is no job specification, or no job description, in that case, the HR manager or the managers would be hiring manpower based on their intuition, and they may create a fiasco in the organization because they are not fitted for the role of the required as per the positions vacant in the organization. So it is important to understand that job analysis helps us to come up with the job description and job specification required to perform a job, and through which we can acquire talented workforce to perform in the organization for the vacant positions in the organization. Next is, it also helps us in training and development of workers. If we know that for a particular position, certain skills are required and we already have existing employees, and we do not need to hire someone from outside. In that case, we can provide the needed skills to perform a job to the existing employees, and that will save our cost also of hiring new employees. And this will also create motivated workforce because they are being trained with new skill sets. Similarly, job analysis also helps to identify what will be the key performance indicators to judge the performance of an employee. So performance appraisal is also designed keeping in mind the job analysis. So what are the duties of a worker? What are the responsibilities? What are the tasks to be performed? And whether these tasks, duties, and responsibilities are being performed in the correct manner or not can be analyzed through performance appraisal system in the workplace. So it becomes really imperative to perform job analysis by the organization. Moving ahead, we also need to design the compensation which is, best in the competitive world, and which is also in line with equity and as per the laws prescribed by the Government of India. So in that case, we need to understand the job analysis and find out what will be the worth of this job, because this person who is coming to the workplace and performing these duties, responsibilities, and tasks needs to be compensated well so that the employee is engaged and motivated and does not leave the organization. Then safety and health concerns in an organization can also be dealt with if proper job analysis is done. If you find in a job analysis that there are safety concerns, then it will be made mandatory to go ahead with safety gadgets in the organization. For example, on a construction site, it is mandatory to go with a helmet on while performing all the duties at the workplace. Employee and labor relations are very important for any organization's success. So having a good employee job analysis can lead to more objective human resource decisions. Similarly, legal considerations can also be taken into picture if we are doing the correct job analysis so that we know what the laws are of the Government of India and which governs various aspects of the workplace. For example, Factories Act. So according to the Factories Act, the seating conditions, the leave rules, the maternity benefits, all are included, and the safety and health procedures are also taken into consideration in the Factories Act. And therefore, the jobs are designed in a manner which takes into consideration the safety and health of the workers. Now, let us come to the most important part of job analysis, which is the process of job analysis. What should an HR manager do in order to carry on the job analysis? So the first one is organizational analysis. What is organizational analysis? We need to understand our organization's strategies. We need to understand what are the strategies. Are we going ahead with mergers and acquisitions? Are we going ahead with expansion of the organization, or maybe downsizing of the organization? So there can be a lot of strategies which are made at the top level. So before performing the job analysis, one has to understand that in case we are going for downsizing, if in case the organization is running into losses, we cannot go for hiring process. So we need to utilize the current workforce in a more effective and efficient manner. Therefore, the job design and the job analysis should be done keeping in mind the organizational objectives and long-term goals of the organization. So first we need to do the organizational analysis and find out what are the needs of the organization. How we can define the tasks, responsibilities, and duties so that the organizational objectives are met. What skill sets or what abilities or knowledge will be required to perform a job in a very satisfactory manner for the organization. So keeping organization in mind is the first step for performing job analysis by the job analyst. Then you move ahead by selecting representative positions to be analyzed. Since you cannot actually analyze all the jobs which are available in the organization, because it is not possible, and it will be cost ineffective also and time consuming also to analyze all the jobs. So what the HR manager does is they perform some sampling for the jobs to be analyzed. So some sample jobs can be chosen, some jobs maybe from each department, from marketing department, finance department, IT department, HR department, production department. From every department, we can choose a sample or a few jobs which needs to be analyzed, and based on those jobs, other jobs can also be analyzed. So selection of representative positions to be analyzed, then collection of job analysis data. So we need to collect the data. So how we are going to collect the data, I'll tell you in my further slides, because collection of data can be done either through managers or people who are experts, or it can be done by collecting data can be collected using certain measures of data collection tools like questionnaire method or maybe interview schedules. And then preparation of job description based on the data collected, and preparation of job specification based on the data collected. So let us emphasize on some of the tools of data collection or methods of data collection for job analysis data. So there are general techniques are used. There are 7 general techniques which are generally used to collect job analysis data. First is job performance. What is job performance? So here the incumbent or the employee performs the job and collects the needed information himself or herself. So basically, the person who is collecting the data is performing the job and writing down in a notebook what all are the duties, responsibilities, and tasks associated with this job. Another method is personal observation. So here the analyst observes others doing the job and writes the summary in his or her notebook. Then what are critical incident methods? In critical incident methods is a technique where you identify the most important or the least important parts of a job by looking at the job incumbent or you can just look at the various incidents happening during the work based on the past experience. So analyst collects the data, analyzes the data, and classifies the data on critical incidents. For example, the critical incidents could be that at one point of time, there was a fire in the organization because of negligence of the worker. So maybe this part of the job can be, taken into consideration while describing the job, that the person has to be very vigilant during performing the job. Another method of collecting job analysis data is interview. So how you can collect? You can just interview the job incumbent. The analyst can go to the person who is performing the job, or who is the manager of the job, or maybe the head of the department of a particular department, and that person can be contacted, and supervisors, managers, etc. can be interviewed to get the most essential information related to the job. Also, a job interview method can be collected through panel of experts also. Who are panel of experts? Panel of experts are experienced people who are experts in their particular field. For example, for the job description of a marketing manager, maybe the marketing head or the vice president of marketing can be contacted to find out what all duties, responsibilities, or tasks are to be carried out by the marketing manager, and what all skills are required to carry out these jobs. Another method is diary method. Here the job incumbent is asked to maintain diaries or logs of their daily job activities and record the time spent on each activity and the nature of work carried out by them. So this way they keep a record of all the tasks and the responsibilities and the duties that they are performing during their working hours. Next method is questionnaire method, where the job incumbents are approached through a properly designed questionnaire with a set of questions related to their job itself. Then another method is management position description questionnaire. So in this questionnaire, it is a standardized questionnaire designed to analyze the jobs at the managerial positions. So the work they do is described as head work, people work, and paper work. Head work has work such as decision making. So it is mental work. Head work is related to mental work, where there is decision making involved, planning is involved, controlling and organizing, and all the functions of management are involved in head work. People work is related to interpersonal relationships, and also related to supervising the work, coordinating, networking, and representing people. So these kind of work come under people work, and paper work is all administrative or official transcripts that has to be maintained, and it can be in the form of maintaining Excel sheet on computer, and or maintaining files, Word or Google Docs or Google Sheets, which are to be maintained by the managers. So these are to be collected. Data can be collected through paperwork, my head work, and people work for management positions. Another method of collecting data for functional jobs is functional job analysis. It is a systematic process of finding what is done on a job by examining and analyzing the fundamental components of data, people, and things. The most recent version of functional job analysis is a 7-point Likert scale, where the data is collected based on things or the tools and techniques which are used by the job incumbent: data, people, instructions, reasoning, mathematics, and language that form a part of the job description of the work. Now let us come to the most important aspect of job analysis, job description, and the another one is job specification. When we analyze job, we need to find out the job description and job specification. Job description talks about job duties, job responsibilities, and job tasks, while job specification talks about knowledge, skills, and abilities to perform a particular job. So job description has to be relevant and it has to be accurate. And this is only possible if we collect the right data through job analysis process. So what all are the contents of job description? A job description may consist of job identification, like what is going to be the job title, which department, and then reporting relationship, job number or job code. So it can also be like employee code that has to be written in the job identification. Second is job analysis date. Then when is the job analysis being performed? It aids in identifying job changes that would make job description obsolete. Because a job description which is valid today may become obsolete tomorrow. For example, the skill sets like, uh, for example, Java and Python and programming skills are now being replaced by AI. So probably the job analysis for a software programmer may become obsolete, which comprise of programming languages. Then a job description also comprise of job summary. What is job summary? It is an overview of the job, of the entire job. Then the duties to be performed. What all duties are to be performed by the job incumbent will also be described in the job description. So here is again content for job description. So job title, department, reporting relation, job number or code, job contents in terms of activities and tasks to be performed, responsibilities, working conditions, how the working conditions are going to be, environment of the workplace, machines, tools, and equipments required to perform a job, supervision given, received, and relationship with other departments, vertical, horizontal, or diagonal. So here is a specimen for job description for the job of a personal secretary. As you can see, the job title is given, that is personal secretary, job number is given, grade, date, department, and the immediate supervisor or manager for this position. The job summary describes that perform secretarial duties involving taking dictation, typing, preparing routine correspondence and reports, maintaining records and related clerical duties. Job duties are take dictation in shorthand and type letters, memoranda, reports, etc. Answer telephone calls and take messages, compile routine departmental reports, and receive visitors. So these all things are mentioned in job description, as you can see on this slide. Now we come to the next important aspect of job analysis, that is job specification. So job specification is also known as employee specification, is a statement of minimum acceptable qualities required in a job incumbent to perform the job effectively and efficiently in an organization. So what will be the content of job specification? Personal characteristics like age, gender, education, experience, and extracurricular certificates, if any, are there with the job incumbent. Physical characteristics can also be mentioned in job specification if they are the demand of the job. In that case, we can ask for job specification in terms of personal characteristics also. Mental characteristics like aptitude, intelligence, IQ, EQ, etc., are to be judged in job incumbent. Social and psychological characteristics like emotional ability, flexibility, mannerisms, taking initiative, leadership qualities, soft skills, and conversational ability, negotiation ability, innovation, creativity, all these things are also a part of job specification. And we need to identify our job that whether they require all of these or a few of these. So this is a job specification of a compensation manager in an organization. So the education requirement would be MBA or PGDM with specialization in human resource management, or masters in social work, or PG diploma in human resource management or industrial psychology, or a diploma. Experience is 3 years minimum in a similar position in a large manufacturing firm What are the KSAs required? So the KSAs required are knowledge on compensation practices, skills in writing job descriptions, job analysis interviews, making group presentations, etc., and ability to conduct meetings and prioritize work. Work orientation factors would be that how much travel is required in a particular job, or how much field work is required in a particular job. So maybe 15% travel is required for a compensation manager, and the ideal age is less than 30 years for a good compensation manager for our job. So that is all from my side in this video on job analysis. So in job analysis today, we have discussed the importance of job analysis and the process of job analysis, which begins from organizational analysis, collecting of data related to job analysis, and making job description and job specification for a particular job position. Job description can comprise of job duties, responsibilities, and tasks to be performed in the job, while job specification consists of knowledge, skills, and abilities to perform in a job. Thank you so much.